you ever pondered the coming and going of interests and how it's almost like you don't find them, they find you sometimes? You know, um, for some reason, certain ideas, certain projects, certain pastimes, they can really, become, we can become quite engrossed in them. Now, I'm sure this varies a lot by personality as to how engrossed people become. Some people maybe have a broad array of casual interests, but their core interests stay very stable, perhaps over most of their adult life. And then there may be other people who cycle in and out of interests quite frequently, quite rapidly. And, one week they're doing hand painting, and the next weekend they're installing a homemade supercharger on their car, and the next weekend, they're going out skydiving. So, there may be people who cycle through a lot faster than others. I don't know, and there's also people that probably, I suspect that based on the personality, it varies a lot on how deep people go into kind of an obsession, right? Is it like, down the rabbit hole? I think that's actually one of the interesting things about the internet, is that it's allowed us to very quickly and easily go down a rabbit hole, if you will. It's to where, for instance, with my recent interest in a workbench, do I expect that I will remain obsessed with workbenches for the foreseeable future? I mean, for the long term? No, probably not. In fact, I don't really expect to get serious about woodworking per se. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. I like the idea of being able to make cool stuff that's customized. So maybe, I don't know, maybe. But, for me, I think it points more back to I like to have improvements that make my life better and again give me a better future. So to me, a future with a workbench is a much better future than one without a workbench, potentially. So, but it kind of scales back into the present. It's like, okay, I really want to build this workbench and get this. Maybe I'm a little nervous about it. Will it turn out the way I want it? Maybe I kind of want to just get it done. Whatever all the factors are. Maybe I'm afraid that I will lose interest in it before I get it done. That can happen. Like I can get into a topic or into a some type of interest, start learning a lot about it, maybe start taking some steps towards achieving something in it, and then my interest fizzles and poof, that's it. So that can happen. So I think that for many of us, probably our kind of our core motivations, our natural disposition, stay pretty similar, but our interests that kind of express those maybe kind of vary a lot. So, for instance, in past years, I've been quite interested in football. Whereas this year, coming into it, I had more sports because I was watching more pickleball. So I wasn't quite as maybe starved for sports, if you will. I also enjoy watching WNBA highlights since the advent of Caitlin Clark. And so, well, that's mostly, to be fair, that's mostly Indiana Fever highlights. But I might catch a Dallas Wings, I think, occasionally. Probably not a real sign of dedication if you're not quite sure what the sports team name is. But so this year I'm like, I don't even really think I'm gonna keep the NFL Plus subscription. So I canceled that because, $15 a month or whatever. I don't, and plus the football games are so long. I don't really want to spend like that much of my life watching like a full game necessarily with the ads and everything. So they take so long, and so I'm just kind of like, I'm not quite so deeply into it. Also a little burned by being a Cowboys fan, to be fair. So there is that. But anyway, so we'll see. As the season progresses, maybe I'll really get into it, and I'll renew my subscription, and maybe I'll go down that quote rabbit hole again. I still like to keep up with it somewhat, but and then yeah, so longer ago, I had a real interest in rotational grazing and kind of an obsession, if you will, there with the rotational grazing. There again, it was like I kind of had this vision of a better future in which I'd be farming or I'd be ranching, if you will. I'd have these miniature cattle, which would be cool, and I'd be making the land into kind of this little paradise. So for me, I'm kind of motivated by like a better future, a more ideal future, a more convenient, enjoyable future. And so some of my sort of obsessions are kind of related to that. And if it feels like business is the route to that better future, that can also be, like an obsession as well. And so there's kind of the better future part that I'm kind of motivated by. And then I suppose there's also sort of the status thing that I'm sort of naturally motivated by, the question of am I successful? So to find things that answer that with a yes, I think are also motivating to me. And that's perhaps sort of my competitive side. And it may be somewhat of why, I do enjoy watching sports too, is because I can kind of vicariously get some success, from a sports team success. So, but I would also say that, the sports thing is also just kind of an escape, if you will. It's just kind of a way to divert from regular life, if you will, and, enjoy, someone else's competition, basically. So back when this obsession kind of reminds me a bit of the workbench obsession. So back after we got our expedition, I realized that it had essentially very similar towing capacity to a full-size truck, like an SUV or like an F-250, plus or minus. And so I was like, sweet, so I need something to pull with this. So, obviously, so I need some kind of trailer, right? Well, what's inspiring about a trailer? Like, just having a trailer is not that amazing. I'm like, okay, well, what I need is I need to have a camping hobby, and I need to get this trailer. I need to personally outfit it to be a brilliant camping trailer. And so that's what I did. I got a 5x8 trailer from Tractor Supply, and I built a box on it that had an open top that had hinge top that I could open, 2 flaps. It had kind of side counter things that I could lay down. So it had some features like that, removable support rails or whatever. So it had some various cool little features that I built in there. Some of those I ended up using quite a bit, maybe, and some maybe not very much. But that was kind of so I kind of had this camping obsession, and so we bought a bunch of gear, and we've gone camping several times. Since I got the trailer and the gear, I don't know, has it been 4 or 5 times maybe? So, and I remember the first time we went camping, we had some, well, maybe that'll be for a future video.